before we talk about how the property actually performed. And this is the partnership structure and who was involved and what they did. So as I mentioned before, Chris is the guy that found the deal and also put in, I think I have a typo there, he put in 90K or 98K, whatever he put in, the 40% of the project. Um, and he brought it to Ken and said, hey, Ken, do you want to work on this with me? Because Ken had experience and expertise that Chris didn't yet have. Chris has gained that in the last, call it 9 or 10 months that he's been in the program. Um, but he didn't have it at the time. And Ken had experience to lend to the deal. I don't know, I don't want to speak out of turn. Um, he probably could have found the money elsewhere, but he brought it to me, I think, because he knew that I might have access to money and that I had more experience than he had. He had, at the time, only just bought that Hinesville property from our last SRU call a couple months before. And, so he hadn't seen proof of concept. He bought it and he was having fun and he was learning, but he hadn't yet been offered the $1.1 million to buy that Hinesville facility. So everything was still proof of concept, kind of theoretical for him at that time, and rightfully so. And so he brought it to me, and I said, yeah, well, let's talk about what this might look like. And I said, I can certainly come up with the money. I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to be my money. Mine's all deployed right now in my Florida project. And at the time, that's what I said to him. So I said, but I've got a buddy who I know would be interested in a deal like this. And so let's talk about what it would look like. And so this is what we came up with. We bought Tipton Self-Storage, and I hope I can do this without confusing anybody. If I confuse you, it's my fault, not yours, I promise you. But what happened is Ken and I created a 2-member LLC. It was actually a dormant LLC that I had, so we just used that. And that LLC is what took on the debt, because it wasn't fair to Chris for him to have to sign on any debt, given that he was contributing all of the quote unquote down payment that he did, right? So what happened is Ken and I have this LLC. That LLC partnered with Chris to buy Tipton Self-Storage. And the agreement was that Chris would own 40% of the deal, and our LLC, Ken and mine, would own 60% of the deal. Now, as per the letter of the law, I am a 51% owner in the LLC, and Ken is a 49% owner. Now, I will tell you that we split profits 50-50. He and I are 50-50 partners, but, and here's a key to success with partnerships, whenever possible, and let me just scratch that out and say always, Ken and I are really good friends. I trust that man with my life, and I think he trusts me with almost his life. And even he and I didn't do a 50-50 partnership. There's really, I can't imagine a situation where I would recommend a 50-50 partnership, because what it creates, even if you're brothers, sisters, I don't care. If it's your dad, your mom, it creates the opportunity for a stalemate. And stalemates are expensive, and there's really no way to solve them until people decide to. In this instance, I'll share with you, and I was very honest with Chris and Ken at the time. I told them, and I told Ken, listen, I don't want to participate in this deal. I will help you guys in any way that I can, but I don't want to do physical things. I've got my own projects going on. Ken knows better than anybody that I'm very committed to my life-work balance. So I said, I don't want to do any work other than help you guys, and I can connect you with the money, and I'm willing to borrow the money on one condition. And here was the condition. And this condition is why the structure above was chosen. So hopefully you guys can follow this part. I said, I don't want to do any work, but given that I'm vouching for this property to my friend, a guy I've known since middle school, and he's going to be putting up more money than any of the three of us combined are, if things go sideways, I need to have the authority to take over. Like, so what I was saying is I don't want to do any work, but if you guys screw this up, I want to be able to come in, push you out of the way, and fix it as best I can for my buddy. So they were both cool with that. And of course I'm said it in a more diplomatic way. I wouldn't have pushed them out of the way. Fortunately, I'm very happy to report that I didn't have to do any work at all, other than to guide them throughout the process, as was the original agreement. So do you guys follow? Hopefully, I can only see 5 or 6 of you, but do you follow how the structure above allowed me full authority to take over, right? Because let's just pretend there was a disagreement. And so let's say Chris and M.W. Wagner Enterprises disagreed on how something should be handled. Well, M.W. Wagner gets a 60% vote, which beats out Chris's vote, right? Now, the M.W. Wagner vote is comprised of 2 votes, one being mine and one being Ken's. Given that I have a 51% stake, my vote trumps Ken every time. So I actually had full executive control of this property at any given time. Chris and Ken knew me well enough to know that I was going to sit on the sidelines unless something went sideways, which is how it played out, fortunately. So hopefully that makes sense.